The Jets have their green and white scrimmage today. Justin Fields is coming off his best practice ever, and we're going to talk all about it. Boy Green Daily starts now.
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Let's go!
Put your seatbelts on. Get ready for the ride. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast, baby. Make sure if you're jumping on the YouTube train, either live or after the fact, you hit the like button and also hit subscribe as we make a chase to 8,000 subscribers. We're about 150 away. So thank you, everybody, for the support so far. I want to give a special shout out to the people that listen to the audio only version so they can avoid looking at my face. And I can't blame them whatsoever. So thank you to those people, too. Appreciate you. Also on the Facebook and Twitter. God bless. Anywhere you consume Boy Green Daily is a great day, baby. I'll give a quick salute real quick to Mother effing Chew, baby, who gifted a Boy Green Coffee Club membership right off the top rope. Love to see it. That membership went to Keith Sansevier. You are now a member of the Boy Green Coffee Club, and I will flip the banner. Here is our new banner for the month of August for our giveaways, and we're giving away these prizes this month. A random vintage Jets player t-shirt, a blast from the past. You guys will love that. We'll throw a random shirt in there. A New York Jets Highland Mint Super Bowl III flip coin, dusted with 24 karat gold. I have it right here with the certificate of authenticity. It's a Super Bowl III gold coin. It's terrific. So good luck to anyone that wins that. And as you can see on the screen, the New York Jets logo Athletic Prime hoodie t-shirt combo, which I love. And personally, I'd love to keep it for myself because I'm a selfish bastard. But I'm going to try to gift out to the universe. That's what I'm going to try to do. So all of those prizes are up for grabs this month. All you have to do to be eligible for this month's giveaway is spend $3 on the channel. Gift a Boy Green Coffee Club membership. If you spend a $5 super chat, you got one membership and you're $1 away from another one. So we're back to normal from the giveaway perspective after a wonderful big giveaway with $20 a raffle ticket for the Big Jets ticket giveaway. So that was gifted out yesterday. So instead, we're back to normal from that perspective. You guys can keep those memberships and things flowing. This is the current leaderboard for this month. We've got a special guest joining us, and no, it's not Hop on Pop. That will be a jam-packed show tomorrow. We'll have our NFL insider Matt Lombardo and Hop on Pop. Lombardo will be for the first 30 minutes, Hop on Pop the next 30 minutes. So we'll have a double dip guest then. But instead, you guys wanted him back, so he's back by popular demand. The one and only DKB is back, baby. What's going on, brother?
What's the good word, Paul?
Hey, man. Oh, are we in a different location this time? Have we moved in the house? Where are we now?
Yeah, we moved in the house. I had my sisters for summer break. So
nice.
We shifted them all upstairs, and then I moved downstairs, and it should be the man cave once I can officially get things set up. So,
okay. All right. So this is the pre-man cave. Okay. It's good to see. It's good. It looks like there's a great base. Looks like there's a great foundation here. A lot of potential. And we're hoping that sort of evolves with time because, you know, the Jets have seen a lot of things with potential, but sometimes it doesn't always, maximize. Doesn't always live up to the potential. So DKB, please make sure you're doing that for the man cave. We'll be checking in from time to time happening on that development there. So let's get into it. There's a lot to get into here, DKB. There's an injury report to get to. There's the green and white scrimmage that's today, which, by the way, Aaron Glenn, I have the direct quote here from Rich Samini. The green and white scrimmage is kicking off in under an hour. It's starting at 8:30. It's a public practice that Aaron Glenn is referencing as a, quote, pseudo scrimmage. There'll be a move the ball period, couple of live periods that'll be live tackling. And Aaron Glenn's message was this from Rich Samini, quote, I'm going to try to make it as game-like as we can. We need to start making sure we get into that mode, end quote. Of course, the Jets have a preseason game coming up next week against the Green Bay Packers. That'll be their first preseason game after the Hall of Fame game whatever day it is now, Thursday. So we're on Saturday now. So DKB, what are you looking forward to in this scrimmage? What do you want to see today?
I want to see. I'm looking forward to matchups. Right, I think we've seen since Pats have come on a little bit more of the Sauce Gardner versus Garrett Wilson type situation, which has actually been more of a rarity in camp since Stevens has drawn G5 more often than not. So there's a lot of interesting risers, right? A lot of UDFAs that have been coming on lately and stuff like that. So I want to see some of those second string matchups because there's some key depth guys for us that might be true difference makers heading into year 2, year 3, where you're usually looking for that big leap too. So I'm intrigued. There's some lower tier guys down here that I think they've been making some surprising noise.
Ooh, okay. We'll dive in on who those players could be perhaps in a little bit here on the program. Let's address the headline. Justin Fields apparently at his best training camp practice so far yesterday heading into the scrimmage. This was from Rich Cimini. Quote, it was Justin Fields' best practice by far. After some uneven days, Justin Fields came out on fire Friday, hitting his first 12 passes in team drills. His best throw was a long ball to wide receiver Arian Smith, an absolute dime that hit the speedy rookie in stride. It says Cimini says it wouldn't have counted because Fields would have been sacked on the play, but overall Fields has displayed better anticipation and ball placement than he did in any of the previous practices. He made a couple of nice throws on the move when flushed out of the pocket. End quote. And come on, we can't. I've seen Taylor bring it up several times here. Do you like the juice, for lack of a better word, that's coming in here? I feel like sometimes certain words are stricken from our vocabulary, our vernacular, DKB. Like I can no longer say superpower or, I'm going to keep the main thing. I feel like I can no longer say those things because of previous coaches and what happened there. So I can't say receipts. That's also on that list. But Aaron Glenn, when Zach Rosenblatt said, how do you like the development of Arian Smith in training camp? And Aaron Glenn turns to him and goes, "Oh, the guy who can't catch."
Yeah,
and then he kind of like a little shoulder shrug. Oh, because that's what you guys said. Anywho, yeah, he looks pretty good. So, do you like that there has been a little bit of sizzle? Aaron Glenn has done this a few times. I've sort of jokingly put it out on Twitter. I know you're not a Twitter guy, but I've jokingly put it out like Aaron Glenn versus Jets media. Here's the latest from today, and then the Arian Smith quote, or all these other things that have sort of come up. Do you like the juice that Aaron Glenn has with the media members?
Yeah, I think there's a certain degree where that's necessary, right? Because we've seen them kind of run, rough shack over Robert Saleh. We've seen when Todd Bowles was on his losing streak, and the media in a very delicate way can put the beat down on a head coach. And it just looks like a sad display for the, 10, 12 minutes that will get them. There are the Arian Smith one was one when I was watching where I was like, maybe, cheap shot, I guess. It's not the media as a whole that is just completely stricken Arian Smith. It was kind of the entire NFL world. In the 4th round, it was weird. That's the only time out of all the interviews since he's been hired where I was like, stuff like that will probably get you in hot water once the real games come and, we're not on a winning streak or something like that. And I've seen that mentioned before by some other media members where they feel like he could rub people the wrong way. And considering we're not coming out the gate as this proven product, Patriots dynasty type situation, we'll see if he kind of has that same attitude and mentality, right? Once the live action is here. But for the most part, it's necessary, right? It's a classic New York, New Jersey attitude, if we're being honest.
Yeah, it definitely is. Again, it's going to be the same thing for this Arian Smith situation and just in general, right? If the Jets are winning, they start out 3-0. Not Arian Smith, maybe him too, but Aaron Glenn's going to be on top of the 10. He's going to be like, yeah, okay, you heard what I said? You see what's going on here? And we're all be like, oh, sorry, coach, Bobby. But let's go week 1. I'm going to set up the scenario. Justin Fields hits a streaking Arian Smith for what would have been an 80-yard touchdown to win the game. Arian, boop, drops the ball. And then it's like 4th and long, and the Jets have to decide, do we punt and like maybe get the ball back, or do we try to go for it? Okay, we'll just punt. And then they never get the ball back. Like something like that. And then Aaron Glenn steps up to the podium. Are you going to be like, hey, man, I'm going to keep riding with my guy? Like, what is he going to say? Also, just in general, if the Jets, put Arian Smith aside, just in general, if the Jets are losing, I call it tough guy act, but I don't think it's an act. I think Aaron Glenn is genuine who he is, and you can either take it or leave it of what he is. But I'll be curious what Aaron Glenn is when the team inevitably loses, because they're probably not going 17-0. So when they inevitably lose, how does he handle those press conferences? Because tough questions come. That's the New York, New Jersey thing you just referenced. I'll be sort of curious how he handles that.
Yeah, I think it'll be the same version. I'm almost 100% positive, right? When I've seen, so when he got hired, and I was going back and looking at press conferences, and we don't see the DCs and OCs as often, just like we don't hear from Tanner and Wilkes here often. But considering they were making the playoffs pretty consistently and all that kind of stuff, when they were losing, Aaron Glenn was pretty focused on just his guys, right? Like he highlighted what the obvious issues were, right? We're dealing with a ton of injuries. We're trying to overcome this, that, and third. But our guys fought as hard as we wanted to. They played with our style and stuff like that. So I see two things happening. One is going to sound like full support, not in the same manner that we heard with Robert Saleh, but he's not going to throw his guys under the bus. But two, if we're losing because it was something, dumb penalties, stuff like that, we already heard him call out, that kind of stuff he's not going to shy away from. There's not going to be this, give credit to the other team. It's going to be, these three guys killed us and they killed us for these reasons. We got to figure out a way to solve this or, move on from them. So I'll be interested to see how that plays out, right? Because we've seen the accountability, the focus, all this offseason, refs coming in for penalties and such. I'll be more interested if, everybody's not going to acclimate, even though everybody's saying the right things. But some of these players just aren't going to be able to play the way that Aaron Glenn would like to see for his defense or his offense. So I want to see what it looks like with him potentially calling some of those guys out in real time, post game and stuff like that. But he's 100% authentic, which I think is why we're so drawn to him. It's not just the former background with being a player and being a former scout for the team and stuff.
Yeah, there is an authenticity there, which I certainly resonate with. And I think that's what everyone resonates with. And we want him to win so bad because we're all Jet fans, of course, but just in general, like if anyone could be the guy that helps turn this ship around, he would be wonderful to be. Let's go back to Justin Fields for a second. Again, this best practice. I'm sure you saw it because you're a Jets content creator just like me, DKB. By the way, can you give a quick plug? Where can people find you, DKB? And what do you do? What do you bring? Let me just challenge you. What the hell do you bring to this Jets gosh darn community, pal? Huh? If someone tunes into DKB, what the hell are they getting?
You can find me on YouTube, DKBX Jets, just like you see username on the screen. Not big into social media. I might get there at some point. We'll see, but pretty much YouTube. As far as my content, you'll see a little bit of everything. In the off season, I do a lot of scouting breakdowns for targets, but then I break down the actual draft class when we bring them in, the UDFAs, and overall, I just try to cover any of the news that happens to intrigue me. So a lot of the baseline stuff, but you'll see some sneaky stuff that's in there that nobody really chats about, like breakdowns of the coaching staff, or I don't know. I think like the first big breakout video I had in my first year or something was covering the athletic health and training performance department and some hires that we had there. So it's not off brand or on brand. It's just more so whatever I felt like I liked and intrigued me, and something that Jets fans probably don't hear from most of the creators, right? Not a lot of the mainstream stuff when possible.
Okay. Sneaky stuff. Let's get that on a t-shirt. I like that. I'm intrigued. What does it all mean? I want to enter that mystery room, lock myself in for 60 minutes and see if I could get out. I like what we're talking about here. Very nice. Again, we got DKB here on the program. Here's the thing. So let's get into Justin Fields. So Brian Costello, earlier this week, he had this viral clip of on his podcast going, I don't know what everyone's talking about. Justin Fields is a massive question mark to me, and piece looked pretty uneven. And a lot of people were like, oh, geez, oh boy, what does this mean? And then all of a sudden, like I just said, we just had Justin Fields' best practice. Coincidence, perhaps not, coming off of some of that Costello talk that they say in the building they don't listen to. And then Aaron Glenn says, oh, Aaron Smith, the guy that can't catch. So I guess you are listening, aren't you? Interesting. But no. So on Justin Fields, what do you make of it? Apparently, he looked like the worst quarterback of all time, and now he looks like the greatest quarterback of all time. Now we're heading here to the green and white scrimmage. So what do you make of the Justin Fields coverage we've seen so far, and basically how you think he looks as a practice quarterback, because that's all we're getting right now?
It's status quo, right? You're looking at. We have to remember this is a reclamation project, right? So in a lot of ways, this could be worse than having a rookie. And then you can also see some of the same rookie trends with it being up and down performances, which is really what we should expect. Like, I know he's coming in, what is this, year 4 for him? Is this his 5th year?
Let me see.
Somewhere in that range, right? Yeah. But he's going into year 4 or year 5.
Year 5.
Okay.
Yep.
Year 4, year 5. Couple of years with the Bears. We've seen, even with Caleb Williams, their most recent draft pick, crazy stuff like the coaching staff wasn't watching film with them, and all kind of oddities like that. And then he goes to the Steelers, which is a franchise that helps with structure and accountability, but they're also not necessarily a modern offense, and they weren't really bought into them, right? Ton of beat writers there, a ton of guys just watching and breaking down film. You hear weird stuff from the Steelers, like, hey, don't target, Pickens for some crazy reason. And then he's coming to the Jets, where he's getting his first real shot of being the guy outside of when he got drafted by the Bears, but having a plan built around him, having some kind of infrastructure that makes sense for what we want to do. It's going to take time to acclimate. Chicago Bears wasn't necessarily a timing-based offense, right? They were a rushing first team, but they didn't really have the pieces around him till DJ Moore came, and even outside of that, how they set up his progressions and stuff didn't make a ton of sense. So you're kind of starting from scratch and or a net negative, depending on how you feel about prior experiences. It was bound to happen. I'm sure there's going to be some days in the future that look perfect, and then we're going to have other days where it's like, he went 2 for 11 in practice, and there's a ton of sacks, a pick or two here or there. But I liked what I heard from one of the I forget which legend we had during one of like the live training camp breakdowns, but he was referencing this kind of being very similar to the Mark Sanchez era, right? Above average to elite defense. Quarterback.
Oh, Damian Woody.
Yeah, there we go. Quarterback is kind of raw, strong rushing attack, and O-line, it looks like it's really, really coming on. So there's elements for things to look really, really good and take pressure off of his plate and stuff, but there's still the development of a quarterback that we're talking about in real time, having to see what that looks like. And there's no perfect art to it or anything. And considering we're dealing with like a rookie OC and stuff, there's going to be growing pains from both sides. But I think he's managing as well as he possibly can for a quarterback that's been probably as quiet as we've seen since maybe Mark Sanchez himself, Chad Pennington, maybe. Like, he's taking it all in stride. I'm happy with it.
He seems that way. By the way, I want to give a big shout out. Speaking of Sanchez, look at this baby. Let's give this a quick shout out here on the program. We'll go solo so you guys can see this. Look at this Mark Sanchez autograph photo. Shout out to Jake Asman and the Jake Asman Show. Look at this puppy. Shout out. And let me make sure I give a proper shout out, because apparently Jake's going to be given. So the Sanchez, baby, I'm going to find a beautiful place to hang this up. It came with a certificate of authenticity. Very, very nice. So shout out. I've never had an autographed piece of Sanchez merch. So that's wonderful. So we're going to get that hung up here. And apparently a big shout out to Jake here. He's going to be hosting a Jets Giants watch party where he's giving away a bunch of stuff. So I'm really happy for Jake, and sweet. I got some Mark Sanchez. Actually brought up Mark Sanchez. I feel like I have no choice. It's going to be August 16th, Saturday night at 6:30 at T Squared Social, 7 East 42nd Street in New York City. And you guys can buy a ticket and you get a bunch of action. You get a little bit of drink and splendor and all this other action for doing it. It is not free to attend. You do have to buy a ticket. It's $18 and includes a Friday beer, a shot, and a raffle ticket for some of the contests going on. So again, more details at the Jake Asman Show, and you guys can see that on social media. So a salute to the Sanchez, baby. Oh yeah. But we do have some breaking news in DKB. Are you ready to react to some breaking news?
Let's get it.
Okay, here we go. I'm being told another player has taken a shot at the previous regime. Another one coming in. So let's hear this one here, DKB. Tony Adams is the latest to jump on this train. So without further ado, let's go to Tony Adams, who had something to say about the previous coaching staff. Let's go to it.
We was the most penalized team in the NFL last year, and that's on us as players. Because our last coaches preached discipline, and we weren't listening. We didn't take heed to what they were saying. So Coach G is making it an emphasis this training camp that we have to cut down on the penalties, because penalties loses games. So guys, I think guys been taking that message very well, and we getting better. And some days we slack off, and on those days it's where you got to lock in even more. It's hot. It's gritty out here, you know what I'm saying? But you have to lock in on the detail. That's what Coach AG preaches each and every day.
So the previous coaching staff said, hey, these penalties, I got to figure these out. And the players, according to Tony Adams, went, fuck you. Okay. DKB, what does that mean? What do you take from Tony Adams saying that?
Robert Saleh lost his team. That's basically what's happening, right? All
right, there you go.
This is like I equate this to like any parent out there that has, a child that's at least like walking, right?
Okay.
When you see those parents that are trying to discipline the kids, right? Usually in a public setting, right? But you're telling them something obvious, right? Don't run in the restaurant or something, don't shout at the top of your lungs. And the kid is just like, F you, middle finger, continues running around. Yes. And clearly they have no intention on listening to this person. And the parent has a couple of options, right? Like take the kid out. Somebody, some might pop the kid or whatever the case is, but it's falling on deaf ears is essentially what we're getting at here. And so there's been a couple of comments from a couple of players that have been really concerning, because it sounds like this was very early on into the process as well. This wasn't like, the London game happened and then suddenly that week of practices before he got the cut was, people just rebelling and things going crazy, or this is under Jeff Ulbricht's watch. Everybody's specifically referencing Robert Saleh. And then it seems like once he got cut, everyone just completely melded in, which is why the wheels fell off with Ulbricht. But I don't see it necessarily as his comments specifically aren't necessarily a shot as Robert Saleh. Is more of just a realization of this is how bad things actually were at a point in the season where we still had a legit shot with him. So maybe from Woody's perspective and what we thought was crazy with Robert Saleh being cut, maybe this is what he was seeing the weeks leading up into the London game. And then the fact that he wants to be so tied into London was just the cherry over the top. And he was like, we'll just we'll cut the poison off where it is right now and hope it stops spreading. So some of the stuff like that starts to make a little bit more sense in terms of the actions and stuff that we were seeing. Which is always as a reminder to us fans, right? We don't know all the things. We're not seeing all of the things. And most of these players aren't going to be revealing all of the things in the real time as well. So interesting, but I can't even say I'm really surprised with any of the stuff that I'm hearing anymore.
Yeah, I would say the thing, so like all the amount of people is like, whoa, okay, there's a lot of people with some stuff to get off their chest. But to me, it's really important to who. Like Tyrod Taylor, he was on the list of people that had previous things to say about, finally we got some of this here. Elijah Vera Tucker, who says nothing. And no offense, AVT, with all due respect, I feel like we could say that and then do everything. He is bland as bland is. Hey, AVT, what do you think the game's going to come up here? 110%. Yeah, man. Yeah, we're going to be out there. Yeah. He says nothing in any of these press conferences. Now all of a sudden he's like, Yeah, accountability. That'd be nice. Haven't seen that in a few years. So we're like, we've only been here your entire career. What few years could you be referencing? So, like, there has been a lot of aggressive comments. Are like, good Lord. And then obviously a lot of stuff AG said. Now, I want to say sort of what you said here with this Tony Adams comment is that, and we talked about this with Judy Batista of the NFL Network when she joined us coming off her Jets training camp visit, that technically anything AG says or anything these players say is going to be a shot. Hey, what do you think of the regime? Oh, man, it's great. Oh, so the last one was shitty. So, like, no matter what, there's going to be this direct, like, stiff arm to what the previous regime was. But some of this feels very pointed. Some of this feels very spiky, thorny, if you will.
Really specific, right? At like, even to Judy's point, that's just kind of assumption-based commentary, right? Like, yeah,
Right.
by nature, if I'm saying this thing is great, and the opposite for whatever we're comparing it to probably isn't. But these are very like specified comments. Like, I was trying to go back and think about when we did the switch from LaFleur to
Hackett?
Damn, yeah, we did go directly to him, huh?
Sorry. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, going from LaFleur to Hackett, like it didn't really feel like anybody had too much crazy stuff to say about LaFleur. It was actually honestly like, we probably wanted to keep him around. We just didn't have pieces. Like, we just
Right.
like, even G5, I think it was last year, was like, things, I took my rookie year for granted, right? Like, we
It was after the Rams game, right? Because LaFleur is on the Rams now. Came off the game, and it was a little awkward. Like, it was almost like I'm current girlfriend talking to Gary. It's like, yeah, baby, those are good times. I'm like, yeah, those times are over. You're with me now. And just the way he was talking to the postgame about it, like, man, I embraced him at midfield. Oh, boy. Yeah, year one. And I'm like, again, this was awkward. We're here right now. This is very strange. This is in the public setting you're saying all this. So, yeah, it was weird. A lot of those comments coming out. G5 wasn't the only one, but he was the most prominent, I think.
the X that got away.
Apparently so. Yeah. And LaFleur now with the Rams, they were the best team chance to knock off the Philadelphia Eagles and probably could have, should have, would have. And then who knows who the champion could have possibly been in that divisional round instead. If that game is played on a neutral field, I think the Rams wipe the Eagles, but we never get to see it because of the snow game. And again, that's football, baby. Football's played in all kinds of environments, and you have to be ready for it. So unbelievable. So a lot of interesting quotes coming out of there. Let's also do this. I want to get your worry level for some of the injuries. Shout out to AG. He said this at the beginning. He's been a man of his word so far. I am going, and he said, Aaron Glenn saying this to the media, I'm going to be straight up with you. When I know injury information, you're going to get the injury information. I'm going to be very transparent. I'm going to shoot you straight. So Quinnen Williams, he's apparently going to be out a week or two with a calf injury that he's had previously. AG said nothing to worry about. John Simpson, a back. Backs always scare the shit out of me, and so do calves for that matter, because of all the Achilles trauma we all have, because things leading to things. But John Simpson going to be out a week or two with his back injury. Again, AG also said precautionary, nothing to worry about whatsoever. But let me ask you, DKB, because you're not Aaron Glenn. So you tell me, pal. Concern level for either of those injuries is
the
what?
Calf, not so much.
Okay.
I think in general, any like, what do they call it? Loose tissue, I guess, like injuries, or soft tissue. There we go.
Soft tissue. Yes.
Injuries. Those can be a little bit concerning. And like, I've dealt with a number of things myself, so I'm not playing on nearly the same level that they are, where things get tweak up and flare up and cause, further issues extremely quick. I would say John Simpson's back is probably the most, just because there's a ton of nerve stuff going on back there. And the nature of trying to compensate for, a back injury is tough. That could easily devolve into all kind of other lower leg stuff and not having power and all those kind of things. So John Simpson's would worry me the most, also because the backup guard depth situation seems a little odd. Like, Xavier Newman is probably solid, and we've seen him in spot starts and he's looked really good, but like, there's even guys I like behind him, like the Cole Lavao pickup and stuff like that. But you can't be too comfortable, right? These are also the same guys I'm seeing getting wiped off the map by like Leonard Taylor III or Michael Clemens or like some of these other lower tier guys on our D-line chart. So we'll see what happens. I think ultimately it's not like we need to throw these guys into preseason for 80% of the game or anything like that. So we have a couple months here before the season kicks off, and I don't think he's going to risk further extending any kind of injury just for the sake of seeing somebody out there that's somewhat established on the team already.
Again, I want to start off with what I'm about to say, that apparently they're perfectly fine and healthy, and they're just working through it. They're working through it. AG says no worries whatsoever, a week or two, and they're going to be fine. However, let's play this out. Let's say Simpson has to miss the first game of the season for the New York Jets, and then who knows what beyond that. So just pretend John Simpson doesn't exist for a second. Who is your starting 5 offensive line for the New York Jets if you take the John Simpson piece off the board? Do you reshuffle players? Is it just one person stepping up? Is it shuffling the board and saying, okay, we'll move this guy here, this will give us our best 5? What's your move, DKB, if you're the coach?
And we're assuming it's only the one game?
No. So just wipe him off the board completely. Well, actually, give me both answers. So give me what you would do if it's a short situation, because normally, to your point, if it's a short situation, what you sort of implied there, you wouldn't make drastic changes, because if you're going to flip it back the next week, that's over the top. So give me what you would do in a short-term scenario and a long-term scenario.
Yeah, so if it's short-term, right, let's just say a quarter's worth of games, 4 or 5 games, we need to figure it out.
Yeah.
I would move Tippmann to guard and then let Myers go ahead and play center.
Okay.
But I'm a huge proponent and fan of Tippmann at center, so I desperately don't want to move him, even though he looked really good at guard as well. So I would probably try to ride it out with Xavier Newman if we're talking long term, or let Newman and let Myers battle it out at guard, because I think that's the other piece. Let them try to figure out who looks best in practice that week, slide them in, keep Tippmann at center, because you get way more benefit from having I don't want to say all pro. You get more benefits from having an above average to elite tier center than you do a guard, in my opinion, with all they're asked to do and what's going on there. So I would want to continue developing Tippmann as a center, try our damnedest to avoid giving him the AVT treatment. And I don't think this staff is, necessarily wanting to go that route either. But you could hide a guard, right? You can pull off your double teams. You can give him assistance. You can help the tackle to help out the guard by chipping in a tight end. Rucker could be in the backfield to try to help out some things. So there's easy ways in my mind around it. Obviously easier said than done, but if Tanner is who we think he is, you can scheme up missing out a guard for a couple of games.
Yeah, that shouldn't be devastating. Stephen Fox, every time I hear Xavier Newman, I'm just thinking Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Newman. So I do get that in my head. So it's like Dingleberg. I do try to work that in where I can. So thank you very much. Again, we got 200 plus people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe. We're trying to make a chase to 8,000 subscribers. We're about 150 away. So appreciate that. We have a super chat coming in. And every time we get a super chat, we hear from my beautiful daughter, Zariah Luna, who turns 4 in January. Beautiful.
Wow.
Didn't Woody demand someone be fired? Mother effing Chew says, and I just wrote a piece about this recently because. So let's connect all the dots. So let's start off with the meddling that apparently happened last year that The Athletic documented, where Woody in a meeting's like, "Hey, this Aaron Rodgers guy, should we bench him?" And then Woody Johnson's people didn't deny he said it. They went, no, he was joking. He was joking. Oh, okay, because that's the sort of joke I try to throw out in a meeting to see if it gets any laughs. So we had that, and then apparently the coaching staff calmed Woody Johnson down, and he did not, and they obviously did not bench Aaron Rodgers. And then you obviously the firing and moving around that stuff, obviously that was there. And then when Woody Johnson just burst in the room, said Tony Adams bench, and they're like, what? First off, again, me as content creator, I'm surprised that Woody Johnson even knows who Tony Adams is, that he even knows his name. So that at a bare level surprised me, but whatever. So he comes in and slams his hand on the table and says, you got to bench his ass. And The Athletic used the word Jeff Ulbrich was forced, quote unquote, to then bench. Okay, well, if you say, Tony, sorry, you did the bench. I'm curious what he told him. Yeah, The owner just told me to bench your ass, so sit down. So there was all kinds of weird meddling that occurred. And obviously hearing big articles about that and other people making fun of our team is not great. But the thing that makes me feel good is recently Rich Cimini had a phone call with Bill Parcells, and Bill Parcells said the advantage that Aaron Glenn has over his predecessors, Robert Salas, Adam Gase's, and all these other guys, is that he has a relationship with the owner. It dates back to when the ownership change happened. Obviously, Aaron Glenn predated the Woody Johnson relationship. He was drafted in 1994. Woody Johnson bought the team in 2000, but Aaron Glenn was with Woody Johnson for 2 seasons before the expansion draft stuff, and then he disappeared for a decade, then came back as a scout. So they have a relationship. You saw it on the mic'd up thing. They were joking around with each other. Like, that to me makes me feel good that first off, Woody had to look in the mirror and say, I have to be a better owner. He told the media that a couple of months ago, that I think he's letting Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji cook until he decides that they no longer can cook. But I think this is the beginning honeymoon period of the relationship where they've given the keys. You like using the parenting references, DKB. So you give the keys to the kid for the first time and go, don't crash it. And, here you go. You got to push the bird out of the nest and see if they can fly. So I think there was a lot of Woody meddling that apparently occurred last season that was well documented in The Athletic. But I think on this particular occasion, everything we've seen so far, for better or for worse, is AG and Darren Muji sort of riding this out, DKB, here in year one.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I was sold when I seen I was sold before this, but like what kind of put it over the top for me was you don't see really anybody coming in like shoulder bumping or like really chest checking the owner and Woody Johnson. So when I seen a little video come out from training camp, I was like, okay, this is obviously not just like a honeymoon stage relationship that's been
right.
Fortified over this offseason. Aaron Glenn has a level of comfort with Woody Johnson that's probably unparalleled to anything else that we've seen. And it's because of the prior years that he's had between being a scout, being a player. So I love that aspect. But then also, Woody Johnson's probably never had anybody, for lack of better words, tell him about himself. And I imagine that Aaron Glenn has had this conversation from his perspective about, look, this is how the media is portraying you. We have these articles that are coming out saying this. I can tell you from the outside looking in with me just getting here and being hired. This is what I'm seeing. This is the way that I would like us to act, which also includes you, right? And so Woody Johnson taking up all this information. He's just coming off of The Athletic article, which is destroying him over Madden ratings and all this crazy stuff. God. Which I wouldn't be surprised if that's how Tony Adam got cut too. He was like, oh, okay, I can't get to Rodgers. Anybody under an 80 overall is up for grabs. But I love it, right? I think this is a situation where Aaron Glenn is being looked at by Woody Johnson as like the penultimate adult. And he's like, I feel like I essentially have an owner that's out there on the field. For the CEO style coach that I've wanted all this time, Aaron Glenn seems like he's hitting on all of it, right? He's made sweeping front office changes. He's made the coaching staff changes. He's obviously handling the players, new and old, pretty well. So far, I don't know how you feel about this, right? But I've kind of brought this up over various videos I've had. It doesn't really feel like Aaron Glenn has had a misstep so far since joining the Jets.
I disagree.
Yeah.
Thomas Morstead, baby, my boy. He tossed him out with the bathwater. He tossed his old ass into the retirement home. And thankfully, his stepdad, the San Francisco 49ers, picked him up, so he was fine and landed on his feet. But he tried to bring him to the old execution chamber saying, sorry, Grandpa, it's over. Punter, I would say, like, hey, man, what the hell? But I love this, right? So I think the thing that I like most about Aaron Glenn that we've just seen over a very brief period of time is an ability to adapt. So he says, Greg Zuerlein, get your ass out of here. Hey, I'm not stopping you. You want me to help him pack his bags? I'll help you. Thomas Morstead, I'm like, ooh, that's what it hurt. But he throws him out the door and goes with complete inexperience. The 2 kickers they had and the 2 punters they had before everything that's current. I'm talking about before. As soon as Morstead and Zuerlein got tossed, they had never kicked or punted at the NFL level before in a regular season game. Oof. For a guy that said, special teams, baby. That sounds risky, but all right. We want to ride with it. And obviously, there was some bumps in the road in training camp early on. He was like, oh boy. But he told the media, he kept a strong face, like, hey, man, I'm not worrying. Come on, we're in the first week. And then Nick Folk, yo, what's up, man? I know you think I hate old people, and I sort of do, but get your 40-year-old ass down here. Whoop! Plug and play, and he went in. So it shows an ability to adapt, that he's not rigid. He's not just like, hey, man, here, I'm not getting any of these old folks on the team. Before Nick Folk, they only had 3 guys on the team that were 30 or older. There was Josh Reynolds. There was our long snapper, Thomas Hennessy, the longest tenured player on the team. Thank you very much. And then Tyrod Taylor, who turns 36 here in a couple of days. That was it. And a lot of those guys were sort of stuck. Like, what are you going to replace your long snapper? Probably not. Tyrod Taylor's already under contract. And then Josh Reynolds was a guy of his choice from previous regimes who also had a relationship with Muji. So really, there's only one guy that really made the thing. The other 2 were already there. It's like you move into a new house, it's leftovers, and you're like, all right, I guess these can stay, and that's basically what happened there. So I would say the ability to adapt. It seems like he wasn't really trying to hunt for older players. He talked about the youth and how important that is and impressionable, and I'm not afraid of youth and stuff. But the ability to adapt when presented with results that were uneven, that I really was encouraged by from HE.
Yeah, for sure. And it's hard, right? I don't know many, if any, real like Jets content creators that I won't even say focus on special teams, but has the ability to like break down what goes into having a good punter, a good kicker, right? Sure. We know the logistics, hang time, touchback, inside the 20, all that kind of stuff. But how do you actually go about developing one of those? And so from that standpoint, I didn't mind the youth at, the kicker or punting position. But it did feel like it was going to be a lot on Chris Banjo's plate as still just, being 2 or 3 years removed from being a player and not one that kicked at all, right? We're talking about a returning coverage guy. And then even with having Mike Westoff coming, at some point here, it's a lot.
He was here I think, what's today? Today's Saturday. He was here this week. He was chilling with Nick Folk. So awesome for Westy.
I'm surprised we didn't hear more about him.
It went super under the radar. Rich Cimini had it in his column just as a sentence. And then if you go through every day, the Jets post their photos from the day of training camp. There was this photo of Westoff. I can't remember who he was chatting with. It could have been Banjo. It could have been one of the players. And he was there, and no one shared the photo. No one talked about it. I was like, oh, that's weird.
That's crazy. Okay. The 1 week I don't go through all of the photos, I miss it.
No. Sorry, man.
But I mean, that's still right on par with Aaron Glenn, right? We're not going to make a big hoopla about Mike Westoff being here. We're just going to have him here and get done the work that needs to get done. So everything's been real intentional. It's been real in alignment with what Aaron Glenn wanted. And to your point, I do think it was a solid pivot because we're not also just talking about picking up a 40-year-old guy for the sake of saying we have veteran experience. He's damn near been the best player since Tucker fell off, taking the mantle at the kicking position. So if you are going to go outside of your norm, go get probably the best guy that we've seen in the NFL over the last 2 or 3 years. That also former Jets background. We had him for 6 or 7 years. Like he was always a pretty lovable player from a fan perspective that kept and won us many, many games as a kicker. So I'm all on board for it.
Yeah, so that was cool change. MFC, we'll get back to your other super chat in just a second. What about first off, 2 things. I don't know if you're a jersey number guy, but Nick Folk rocking the 18. Thoughts on that? And just Nick Folk in general. It seems like he picked up right where he left off. He went 6 for 6 the other day. 2+ makes from 50+. It seems like not only is it nostalgia and cool for us fans, but beyond that, it seems like a productive guy too. So jersey number and production. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I've never been a jersey, but like, I don't know what it's been about me. I care more about like the colors and like how stuff visually looks, but like the numbers and stuff doesn't necessarily do it for me. It's been rare that I've looked at a jersey for a position and been like, that looks weird. Like,
okay. So you're above that. Okay. All right.
Yeah, like an offensive lineman wearing number 0 might catch my attention or something crazy, but like for the most part, it is what it is.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. And then what about the production we're seeing from old Nick Folk? Again, he went 6 for 6, 2 and 2 from long range. He was looking real nice.
Yeah, that's what you want to see, right? Hit the ground running. Like if he would have came in and went 3 of 6 or something, I think we'd be in a panic. Like, again, we already got damaged goods. um,
Well,
but uh, it's a good sign, right? It's great competition for the thicker kicker. And then you know what you're getting. Like I think at the bare minimum, like when Aaron Glenn signed him, he knew exactly what he was expecting from him. I don't think every day will be perfect. It's very unreasonable, but to see him hit the ground running is just it displays the comfort level that he has. Being what is this his 18th year in the league, something like that.
yes, well, maybe I guess that's why the jersey number is a jersey number. I guess I didn't think about that till just now. You said it, but could be. What do you make of James Woody the other day? He said that he believes Harrison Mevis, like just because Nick Folk was signed, does not mean it's a death nail. That Harrison Mevis still has a chance. Do you agree with that?
On practice squad.
Definitely not on the. To me, it is over. Sorry, Pat. If I'm Harrison Mevis and I had Caden Davis because like for a brief period of time, Caden Davis got cut and Harrison Mevis for 5 seconds was the only kicker on the roster. I'm Harrison Mevis. I'm like, so weak. I just won the job. And then Nick Folk signed. I'm like, fuck, because it's over. That's how I think about it. It's done so.
I knew it was happening. The way the news got set up that we did the workout prior to the cuts and stuff happening, I knew like the punting situation made more sense. When we cut Kai Kroger, I was like, okay, then clearly Austin McNamara won that competition. That's a done deal. Perfect. When it came to the kicking competition, because that one's going to more so directly influence our games, I was like, there's no way we're just rolling with Mevis. Somebody's being brought in, and even if it isn't Nick Folk, we'll get a surprise name out there. But
so do you said you think the punting competition's over? You think Austin McNamara's a guy?
yeah, it's done. Yeah, it's done. We're not unless McNamara does a couple of weird shanks or something. Like so far, I've been hearing and seeing from like Zach Rosenblatt and a couple of the other people I like to follow more often that he's looked even better since he's been the solo guy, getting development out there. So.
Okay, I just went through 245 photos in the middle of some of your answers. Sorry for the delay, but I found it. Good Lord have mercy. That took a hot second. I said I knew I saw the picture in my head. So here it is. Here's Mike Westoff. He was at the Tuesday's practice this week, and here he is. Let's throw him up here on the screen. This is Westy with Thomas Hennessy. So Mike Westoff here at practice with old Thomas Hennessy. So there you go. There's Westy, who was there. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought. You know, again, he's if anyone who knows, I've got his book behind me, Figure It Out. He has been through a lot of health problems, and unfortunately that led to he made an NFL comeback again because he just loves football. He's going to die on a sideline. His most recent opportunity with the Denver Broncos and Sean Payton, where he was assistant head coach and special teams assistant, he had another medical condition that forced him to step away. So this is from everything I've heard and talked to people, this is an informal thing. He's going to be able to come and go as he wants, contribute as much as he wants, but it won't be a formal thing with all the coaching demands that comes with it. So great news for Westy, and yeah, he's looking good. So shout out. So again, thank you, Jets, and the 245 photos that required to get there. Thank you very much. Let's go. MFC was talking about when he brought up the Woody demanding fire thing. He thought he was talking about LaFleur specifically. So first off, thank you for the super chat again. Wow. You have 2 raffle tickets for our contest this month, MFC. Thank you very much. Yes, I do believe that was confirmed by multiple people, DKB, that after the end of that season, like Woody came to him and said, hey man, like this wasn't good enough and someone's head has to roll. And so I was like, please, no, not LaFleur. But then like, do you want to get fired? Okay, LaFleur, I'll help you pack your bags. I feel like that's sort of how it went.
Yeah, I kind of recall some of that loosely. It's dumb, right? It is what it is. I think it shows the lack of, let me think, am I thinking of the right regime here? Yeah, because that was Robert Saleh. It was a atrocious year out the gate, right? I think we were like bottom third in most of the defensive categories where we thought we were going to get a boost there. And then the offense was trash. And then,
right.
Yeah. It's
because Ulbrich got shit. Because like, so it was after year one, Jets defense was awful. I remember Robert Saleh went on the Michael Kay show because he did these weekly interviews at the time. And one of the guys, I confused them all. One of them asked Saleh, "Hey, is Ulbricht's head on the chopping block?" And I was like, Jesus. Like, I remember just saying it, hearing it live, like, good Lord. And Saleh went, "Are you kidding me?" He's like, it's 1 year, man. What are we talking about here? Of course Ulbricht's coming back. And that ended up being good for the time in Wichita, because he ended up turning it around and was fine as a defensive coordinator coming through. But then obviously Saleh must have had to pick one to save, because LaFleur ended up with his head on the chopping block for similar reasons. Someone got him there too. So, again, he's now in LA. It's good. Thank you, MSC, for the question and bringing it up. But that's why I'm just glad the meddling seems to be over for now. And that's all we can hope. Again, if I was $1 billion owner, I'm sure I'd want to be all over the team that I'm spending all this money on to get a better understanding for it. But, very interesting.
I saw how Aaron Glenn put his staff together, like really for any of the head coaches we bring in, is one of the more interesting long-term stories that I try to follow, right? Because for us being so defensive minded when it's come to the head coach pickups, with the exception of like Gase in the last decade or so, none of them really seemed like they were able to, one, either identify offensive talent when it came to coaching, or two, find a way to sustain the coaching success that they would have already had, right? So with Aaron Glenn, he's been incubated in this Detroit Lions franchise where Campbell has, right? You look at his coaching staff that got picked to pieces on both sides of the ball, is guys that many people will be clamoring for. Head coach positions, offensive coordinators, key passing game coordinator roles, stuff like that. I'm curious if Aaron Glenn, one, can stay true to kind of his vision about this playing style on both sides of the ball and what he wants that to look like. But two, can he finally actually be a guy that breaks the cycle of being able to have a long-term OC for 2 to 3 years and kind of has that pipeline of, okay, well, obviously Engstrom needs to move on to be a head coach now, but we have who's our passing game coordinator right now? It's
oh my God, Scott Turner.
There we go. I wanted to keep saying Morton, and I'm like, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah, he's the Lions OC now, John Morton. Yeah.
So Turner will fill in, right? Or it'll be someone else that we see stepping up, like Sean Jefferson or somebody like that. So I'm curious to see how that pans out more than anything, because it almost feels, I don't know where you fall on expectations for the season, right? But it's a weird divide where, like, even for the people fully bought into Aaron Glenn and the vision and all this kind of stuff, they're like, but we're probably looking at like a 6-win season. But it doesn't sound like we'll run into the same situation that we did with like LaFleur, where there's going to be heads that need to roll and stuff like that. It just feels like a growing pain that we're going to have to get through. And if the competition level looks like it's there and we're not just getting blown out of the water in games and stuff, it seems like we'll just be able to kind of ride off into the sunset with the expectation there's going to be a year 2 jump.
We're winning the Super Bowl, so I mean, come on now.
It's Jets, Jets. I love Fireman Ed too.
He kills me.
So obviously we're winning the Super Bowl. But no, I think the line in the sand is the playoffs.
Playoffs? Are you talking about the playoffs?
I sure am, Grandpa. I am talking about the playoffs. That to me is, I think it's, I break this down every year in the same way. It's just the math. There's 32 teams in the league. There's 16 in each conference. 7 of the 16 make the playoff. And 1990. Now, these stats are warped now because we've got more playoff, more regular season games, more playoffs, more teams. Like, all kinds of things have messed up some of these numbers. But not only is there all the craziness with playoffs, it's the turnover that we constantly are getting new teams in on a year-to-year basis. It's at least 3 to 4 new teams. And then, like I said, some of the numbers are warped now because of the differences that exist in the league now than existed 30 years ago. But there's all this here. There's first-year pops all the time. Hell, before recency, the Jets had all kinds of first-year pops. Herm, Eric Mangini, Rex Ryan, Todd Bowles. I mean, you go through that run, and you're like, whoa. And then all of a sudden it went, and crashed off the road with, gosh darn, Adam Gase and Robert Saleh, God knows what else. So things have folded. But, there was a nice little run there for a hot second. So to me, I think that, I think if I'm the Jets, outside of surprising things that happen, you're battling for the 6 or 7 seed in the AFC. Because until proven otherwise, obviously the Buffalo Bills, I'm going to go visit their training camp as a media member next week. So I'm going to infiltrate. I'm going to try to, I'm going to try to steal as much information as I can to bring back to the Jets fan base and see what I can do. So that'll be on Wednesday. I'll keep you guys posted on that. So I will be live from Buffalo Bills training camp as a media member, and I'll let you guys know whatever I pull from that. But until proven otherwise, we have to prove that we can beat the Bills, and not just beat them like, hey, look, the Jets have fared very well against them as a one-on-one opponent in the octagon. It's the marathon of being better than them during the season, which the Jets have obviously not proven to be able to do. So that's the big challenge. But to me, no, I totally think if everything goes right and Justin Fields makes these leaps, and I'm not saying makes the leap of an MVP quarterback. We're talking about a different conversation if some crazy shit like that happens. But if he's just a competent quarterback with everything else and the better coaching, I think it's going to make a dramatic difference. I think the Jets can totally be in the conversation for the playoffs.
It's tough for me. I think the AFC just has so many good teams, like perennially. We're not even talking just like the one-off, like, oh, they put together a strong offseason. Like the Chargers are kind of, I look at them as, like the I guess the final form of like a Jets team, right? Like Harbaugh and AG kind of feel like they're cut from the same cloth in a way that they're adaptable to the scheme, but the playing style remains the same. So with Harbaugh, you're getting a rushing attack, it's going to be deep, the offensive line is going to be good, the defense is going to be solid. And that defense impressed me wildly last year because it's not like they have a ton of known pieces, but number one passing defense, if I remember correctly, played a lot of kind of vanilla schemes, for example, but just executed at a high level. But, Ravens, Chargers, Bills, Chiefs always get their ref bonus and find their way to the playoffs.
Bengals could be back, obviously.
Bengals with Joe Burrow, right? So it's a lot of teams with either established quarterbacks or they just have a history of being able to, ride out wild card wins and stuff like that. So it's tough for me to sit here and say, like, I would imagine us being in a wild card fight. It shouldn't be out of question, right? There's only so many teams to go around, and I don't think we're going to be a basement dwelling team. But I think if we're talking wild cards, we're saying more things went right in year one than what would have been expected. Some overachievers, some games that went our way because we're not shooting ourselves in the foot anymore. And if so, like, nobody should be mad at that, right? That means the year one plan with AG essentially worked to perfection based on the talent that he had. So I hope so. If your vision comes true, right, I'm going to be on top of the rooftop, with Batman Jets cape on, excited. But if not, then I'm not necessarily going to be overly disappointed either. Again, assuming the play style matches what Aaron Glenn has been proposing to us.
That last thing you said is an interesting thought. What's disappointment? If you're a Jets fan and you walk away and you're like, oh, God. I don't know. It's sort of, to me, a gut feel thing. You'll just see it. It's not, no one's going to tell me, yeah, okay, 0-17, sure, okay, yeah, that'd be disappointing. How did that happen? No, but 5 wins, 6 wins, 7 wins, 8 wins, that to me doesn't hit it. It's going to be seeing it and believing, and there's a hope. Wow, this coaching staff is not just messing up these time management situations. Oh, they literally just lost straight up because Patrick Mahomes did something crazy, Joe Burrow did something crazy, whatever. I know they don't play those two teams this year, but just something like that. That to me is going to be the eye test of how I'm feeling. Like, oh baby, okay, that was the appetizer, and here's where we're going to be. I tweeted this out right before the show. Tom Pelissero of the NFL Network, he gave his Jets camp report to Rich Eisen yesterday. He went through. He's like on his 8th or 9th training camp stop, so he went through all the teams. And he went to the Jets, and he said that the Jets, in his opinion, have way more talent than the Lions did when Dan Campbell, Aaron Glenn, and everyone first arrived. And that team only won 3 games. And he went through them they didn't have a Garrett, they didn't have a Sauce, they didn't have a Quinnen, they didn't have a this. And he says, man, watch out. We'll see what happens. But AG's going to bring some action there. So we'll see what it ultimately is. I am going to be curious, but to me, it's going to be a gut feel thing. On the disappointment part of like, if I'm disappointed, I don't think it's going to be about wins or losses that disappoints me if they make the playoffs or don't make the playoffs. We haven't made the playoffs in 14 years. That's a long time. I think it's more so the gut feel of how I'm feeling heading into next offseason of like, oh, okay, we're going this way, we're going this way. And I think everyone is going to know one way or the other, good or bad, ultimately, I think what that is. So,
yeah, I think I'm not looking for a defining moment, like good or bad necessarily, right? I think to your point, the way I look at it is there's going to be a buildup. We're going to look at, the first 4 games and we're going to say, regardless of opponent, what was going on, right? Okay, 10 penalties a game, unacceptable. Refs all off season, like it completely unacceptable, right? He's going to need to knock these guys down the depth chart. These are going to get cut at some point or something of the nature. There's going to be stuff that we've seen action on in the offseason that if I don't see those things getting corrected in the offseason and it's also causing us to lose games, that's when I'm going to be like, all right, clearly this wasn't working or these just aren't the suitable players. So the penalties, for example, the next thing is going to be, can we not rely on the ground game? Because that's essentially what we're being built up to have to go out there and perform on. If we can't get that going, if that can't be a reliable part of our game, that's going to be a problem. We need to go back to the drawing board. Pass coverage. This secondary, I don't necessarily have problems saying this, but this secondary should essentially perform like a top 5 unit. Losing DJ Reed hurts. And I know people aren't super comfortable with Brandon Stevens coming in as that CB2, but Aaron Glenn, Dre Bly,
Chris Harris,
Steve Wilkes, like all of these guys have shown their units are elite in prior years past. And so when you have a Sauce Gardner at the very least, that changes the complexity of everything. Like if we're not doing the things we're set up to do based on the talent and what the coaching staff's expertise is, that's going to be a problem for me.
Yeah, and very, very fair. We have 300 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe if you guys are watching. Also subscribe to DKB's YouTube channel, DKBX Jets. Guys, make sure you hit that up. I want to give a shout out here. Our raffle giveaway is over for this. So you guys can't win tickets anymore, but you can still buy them. We have 5 ticket packages left for the Jets Cowboys Week 5 game, Sunday, October 5th at 1 o'clock. The food will be catered by Chef Kevin Gilbert. And here is how it all works. It's $300 per person. That's section 228A tickets. The tailgate will be in D1. We finally picked our tailgate location. It'll be in D1, food and drink included. Plus, you can't see it because the scrolling ticker's up, but there's a commemorative t-shirt as well. So reach out to me ASAP. Once these tickets are gone, we're not selling any more ticket packages. So only 5 left, people. If you have any interest, hit me up on any social media at BoyGreen25. You'll be partying with 55 plus New York Jet fans. I believe the number right now we're at is 56, and then we have the 5. So we'll be at 61 people if we sell out our entire section. So, folks, make sure you jump on the train if you have any interest. Again, Paul, A, the letter ESDENJR at gmail.com. My first name, middle initial, last name, JR at gmail.com for more information, or just hit me up on social media at BoyGreen25 if you'd like some of that action. Let's get into the comments section. My father's in the chat. Hey, now. He's on the road to South Carolina, so, okay, he's chosen this station to listen to. I appreciate that, Pop. His comment is he believes the ceiling for the Jets is 8 to 10 wins, and he believes that I can't handle the truth of that. Interesting.
You can't handle the truth.
8 to 10 wins. I'd be the hell up. We haven't had 8 to 10 wins since 2015. And that's the only time we've had, a winning season in the last 14 years. So I can handle that truth. 8 to 10 wins. That'd be the light shall set me free. Give me that. I can handle that truth. That'd be absolutely wonderful. And DKB, you've got a lot of fans in the chat, man. Let's go through a couple of these people. So we have DNY for Life coming up. He says DKB up early. Would love to see this collaboration more often. Always appreciate the DKB content.
Appreciate it.
All right, very nice. And then Emmanuel Holcomb going DKB live. All right. Oh, are you you're not a big live content guy, DKB? I've seen a lot of your video content. Not a lot of live content coming from you, DKB?
Yeah, not often. Like I'll go live, and then of course generally it's myself. So in addition to me not being able to just talk for long stretches of time, it's worse if you're
Mhm.
talking by yourself. So, of course, chatting with chat and all that kind of stuff, but it's essentially just me. So, when I wasn't partnering up with like my boy Gunny from New York Jets situation
Oh
report,
yeah, love Gunny. Yeah.
or my boy Gino, then it was solo. So I don't do it too often. I try to do it a little bit more because I guess they just like seeing me in person or live,
Sure.
anyways, as opposed to just the
Yeah.
video drops. So
Hey, DKB, do you have a newspaper from today that you can hold up and we can make sure that we're actually talking to you right now? Or because, like,
I got
that's a
copies
good point.
of paper I can write today's date on.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's definitely not any fake BS happening there. That's for sure. Brian Farrell says, "Is today's game some type of scrimmage?" Again, yes, it is. For those who are just joining us, the green and white scrimmage is today. Aaron Glenn referenced it as a quote pseudo scrimmage. And at first, when he said that, I'm like, "Oh man, are they like now gonna do some bullshit?" Like, so I've covered Syracuse football. They do like it's college
Yeah.
football, of course, but they do a scrimmage. But it's bullshit. It's not a scrimmage. It's just a practice with a bunch of people at it. So when Aaron Glenn yesterday was asked about this scrimmage coming up, he called it a pseudo scrimmage. And in my head, I paused time like, "Get the F out of here. We're just gonna have a normal ass BS." But no, he said it's a pseudo scrimmage. I want it like a real game. I want it like real game action, and that's what you're going to get. He says, I want to make it as close to a game as possible because basically we got a preseason game next week. We got in the mode. And I went, oh, thank God. Because sometimes in these scrimmages, they haven't actually been scrimmages in the past.
The
DK.
lack of faith in AG, boy Green. I'm surprised.
Yeah, that was tough. Immediately, I'm like, oh, I gotta be kidding me. And then he immediately said, I'm like, oh, just kidding. But no one heard that. I wasn't on the show, thankfully. But then I just told it now to thousands of people. So I'm an idiot. All right, let's keep it rolling here on the program. We'll open up the phone lines to see the Jets just opened up their live look into green and white practice. So I'll be looking forward to catching up on that later. John saying DKB is a great guest. Going all Tony the Tiger on us. Great guest. Okay, there you go. I love to see it. Is that your favorite cereal, Frosted Flakes there, DKB? What's your favorite cereal?
It's up there. I was kind of a weird kid, so I liked the Frosted Wheaties.
Frosted Wheaties. What in the world? I'm going to be honest. I don't know how many people in my life I've ever asked what their favorite cereal is, but I can guarantee no one's ever said Frosted Wheaties. Wow. Okay. All right. Hey,
Dry.
I like you
That
speaking
was
your
the
truth. Okay.
Frosted Wheaties dry.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, let me just tell you this. This gets awkward. Okay, so I'm a peanut butter Captain Crunch guy. That's obviously the greatest cereal of all time, no debate. But it's always dry. And you want to know what these animals? So, do you normally have milk in your cereal or no?
It depends on what I'm eating. So like Frosted Wheaties, no. But if I was going to eat anything with milk, it was Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Okay, so it's optionality. So sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But there's a lot of people that are in one camp or the other. So I don't put cereal. I don't want some. I don't want. No, I don't want to be swimming. I don't want some soup ass cereal. What the hell? Who voluntarily
How
like
long
water?
does it take you to eat cereal that is getting soupy?
No, wait just a second here. Who purposely waterboards their cereal before eating it? Psychopaths. That's what. I'm like, what are we talking about here? No, you eat it freaking dry. And if you want milk, put it in a freaking cup. Take a
Wait, so
swig
you
every
don't
once in a while.
you don't eat
Come on.
like oatmeal or soup or anything like that?
No, God,
Grit?
no.
Like
Absolutely not. No, I
okay,
don't.
fair. You're consistent with it at least. I'll
Thank
give you
you.
that. Yeah.
You're damn straight I am. But like, what are we like? No, you eat it dry. And you want to know what? Not only can I just not eat it dry in my own world, if other people see me eating it dry, they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, what do you mean? I'm just enjoying my cereal over here. I'm just trying to be me. And they say, hey, if you're going to eat it dry, don't get a bowl, eat it out of the box. I'm like, wait, now I'm an animal? I can't even eat out of a dish because I don't eat it the way you want me to eat it? They're like, well, the bowls that contain the milk or whatever the hell you put in it. I'm like, no, it's not. I can eat it dry if I want to. What the hell is wrong with that? So all these people are in their own elitist towers over here saying, not only am I an idiot for not eating my cereal milk, but I shouldn't even get a bowl. I should eat it out of the box. Like, what am I, just groveling on the ground like a caveman?
There's definitely a place for the dry cereal. I don't know. I ignore those people. Back in my prime days, I used to put on my best Derrick Henry, Braylon Allen impression, stiff arm them into another universe. But
there you go.
Each their own.
Yeah, and Taylor Sterling says this is the worst take. BG, are you really standing on cereal? Doesn't need milk? Hell no, it doesn't need milk. Here's the thing. This is how I feel about life, right? So I'm a guy who gets a burger normally. I'm a big hamburger guy. To me, when you put other shit on your burger, like crazy ass shit, you're hiding the true taste of the burger, the purity of the burger. If it
What do you mean
tastes
by
good,
crazy?
like I don't know, like ketchup. Like ketchup is disgusting. I don't want any part of ketchup. But like all this
That is a normal
kerfluffle,
condiment.
no, it's not normal. It's disgusting.
I
Or
don't have
like
ketchup on my burger personally, but I'm just saying that is a normal. I thought you were going to say something like banana slices or some crazy shit.
caramelized onions or any kinds of like anything. Like to me, like you don't need to. If a burger is as good as people say it is, then you should just be able to eat it pure, and you
So
can
you're
just
safe,
eat
man.
it straight.
Look,
Like you don't have to hide it because if you don't like, I don't understand people that do this. Okay, I like mustard. Mustard's fine, but I don't do it on everything. But like if I like it, I just dabble in it. I don't soak it. I don't go like, "Hey, give me the answers," and I'm like shoving French fries in it, and all I taste is the mustard. If so, what's even the point of anything? Why don't I just start putting mustard on this piece of paper and just start going to town on that? It's going to taste like mustard, isn't it? That doesn't make any sense. So that's what I'm saying. It just I don't know how we got into this huge food tangent here, but I'm just saying that like if it tastes as good as people say it was, and it was a good cook, then you don't need to hide it in other flavors. Just eat it straight up. There's a purity to it, right?
nah, not anymore. HMOs and GMOs and all that fun stuff is killing the burger taste. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna let you stand on your soapbox there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. Hey, well, at the tailgate, Chef Kevin Gilbert has BG Sunday Tradition, a special burger, and it's a burger I have every single week, which will probably put me in the ground sooner rather than later. But go out in a blaze of glory. That's my advice to everybody. It's a burger with an egg over easy, bacon on it, and it's a breakfast burger. And then you have to have the egg over easy so the egg yolk runs, and then you can dip things in it like your crispy potatoes or something. Like that's my perfect one. But I most of the time, 99% of my life is just straight up plain burger, just burger bun, nothing else. Eat it straight.
Yeah, you're a caveman, my guy. Much respect to you. And I don't mind a plain burger, but like I don't necessarily agree with not having like onions or anything on it per se. But to each their own.
Okay, there you go. We can do that. All right, we'll get to the phone lines here in just a second, DKB. But here's what I want to get to first. Is throw this up. So first off, have you heard the Terry McLaurin Jets rumors, DKB? Have you heard about that? Let's throw this up on the screen. Are you buying any Terry McLaurin New York Jets stock?
Sorry, let me get back my frame of mind. Like I just had a whole scenario run in my head about this cereal stuff and all that. Terry McLaurin, yeah, I think I like him, right? There's like a tenacity to him in his game, and he fits the like speed profile that Aaron Glenn would love and stuff. But the reason why I don't want him is for roster building purposes, right? Like we've fallen into these traps before where like we're going out and we're playing a veteran that's disgruntled somewhere else. And like some of that initial energy, if you will, and people believe in all that kind of transfers over, right? So now he's coming to the Jets, and yeah, maybe he feels wanted because we traded for him, but then you still got to figure out this contract. Now you have Garrett Wilson's contract stacked under this Terry McLaurin contract, which isn't going to be cheap. And then nobody else really under them, right? Because a lot of the issues we're going to see in 2026 is who's going to be paired up with Garrett Wilson, right? You have Arian Smith that you hope takes some kind of leap, but let's just say he's a starting slot in 2026, more than like a wide receiver too. And then nobody else, right? You're going back into the veteran, bucket bin and trying to get a Josh Reynolds or something again. We need to try to develop the depth. And so as much as Terry McLaurin will come and probably try to raise the floor and stuff a little bit, people tend to forget that we're trying to build a rushing attack here, right? And we're trying to go run heavy. Where does McLaurin fit in the picture there when, Breece Hall is going to get his looks, Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis are going to get his, Garrett Wilson's obviously going to get his. And if Mason Taylor is the same guy on Sundays that we're seeing in practice, he's going to be a fan favorite and a favorite of Justin Fields as well. So I just can't clearly see how he would fit into what we're looking to do per se. I don't know how good he is on run blocking either off the top of my head, but like it feels more of just like a classic name value flash than something that will actually thrive in the environment that we're setting up right now.
Come on, man. We're having an Ohio State reunion on August 7th for all the former Ohio State alum. We got Garrett Wilson coming, Jeremy Ruckert's coming, Josh Myers coming, Justin Fields is coming, Nick Mangold's coming, Santonio Holmes is coming. They're all coming.
Ruckert might not even make the roster, and if it wasn't for
come on, he's making the roster.
Myers, I wouldn't be so sure.
Who's taking his job? Come on now, who's taking his job? Give me a name. Give me a name.
There's a video I'm dropping on this pretty soon too, though. But it's basically in competition with Andrew Beck, right? And there's this weird transition that Rutgers doing where he's not playing like a classic tight end role, right? He's kind of highlighted in his last press conference where they're moving him around, they're having him in the backfield, and like kind of what we've seen in like year 2 for him. He's really playing like a hybrid fullback role, which is basically what Andrew Beck is doing. And there might be a more like Darren Muji would be, that Andrew Beck is his guy for one. So maybe there's something he can try to press there. But also I've heard more from Andrew Beck in terms of like highlights in practice than I had from Jeremy Ruckert. So the only thing Ruckert really has going for him right now is the fact that he's a veteran in the tight end group. But if you want to throw him in this same bucket that Andrew Beck is as a hybrid fullback that plays tight end, then you can get that argument kind of eliminates itself. Also, it's crazy to think that Stone Smart has already been out producing him in practice in terms of being a receiver. So like what value is he ultimately offering if Andrew Beck is on par or better than him as a blocker and Stone Smart is better than him as a receiver, and he's clearly not going to leapfrog Mason Taylor?
Well, I guess it would depend on this. When I'm thinking about roster construction and how this again, we're making all these assumptions because we don't know exactly what the Jets offense will be. But based on old Lions land, they're going to be running a lot of multiple tight end sets. So that means you're going to need at least 3 tight ends making the roster, in my opinion. And we could conversate whether the fullback counts among that group. To your point, in a Beck, is that a 4th tight end or is that one of the 3? Right. Because if that's not one of the 3, then there's the path for Ruckert. Mason, Stone, Beck, and Jeremy. Those are the 4. So I guess it'll come down to as we're, kind of going through that whole process. I want to make sure I get to this. I missed the super chat earlier. My apologies. I'm trying to catch up on everybody. So let's go to Dixon Yas here on the program. Wow. Been a member for 3 months. He says, I love how involved AG is at training camp. Let's go Jets. That's been another big positive for me. DKB is that he's constantly moving. He's with the running backs and he's with the safeties and he's with the quarterbacks. And he has the whistle. That was a fun little moment of the presser yesterday. Like, oh man, a lot of these things are this. I've noticed this theme in the press conferences with AG. Oh, whistle, huh? And a lot of coaches don't wear whistles. And he goes, Oh wow. Not a lot of teams around the league do this tackling thing. They're almost like sort of hip checking him a little bit like, hey, man, you're being different than everybody else. And then AG's like, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm going to be me and hop on or hop off. And so that's been sort of a consistent theme, but in different ways it's sort of evolved, right? The whistle thing, the live tackling period, the this. So it's been evolving. And again, I think what matters most is the wins on the field. If whatever AG is doing back here and they're winning, no one cares. If he's doing weird stuff that no one else is doing, they're not winning, that's where people raise eyebrows.
Yeah, he's it's weird because he's like combating a couple of different fronts, right? Like from my purview, our generations as a whole being, outside of us, they're getting softer, right? And in all facets of life. So you already have a different version of football players coming in, right? With different expectations, participation trophies and all this other kind of nonsense that like they're growing up on. Whereas AG's generation and even a couple of the ones after him is like, yeah, like if there's no blood, no broken bones, no harm, no foul type situation. So it's kind of like he's working to reinstill what like classic football, mentality and DNA actually looks like in a lot of these players and teams. So I love it, right? Going against the grain is the ultimate risk and reward that we see, and which is how you get your Facebook guys and your Amazons and some of these other standouts in whatever department of work someone's working in. So I'm all
like
for
DKB in Jets content creation.
ideally, right? But I'm all for it, right? I think that's what you ultimately want for a franchise that hasn't seen a lot of success. You want someone that is going against the grain, and not just for the sake of doing it, but it makes sense. And I think you can say that's the case with a lot of his moves.
Very fair. All right, let's catch up on some more comments. And there's one more thing I want to throw at DKB here. Scotty Mayhem says, BG, if you had drank milk more, you would have been 5 inches taller. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. For Lillian B. Yeah, apparently. Yeah. What's that? Yeah?
It makes
okay.
cancer, and it actually makes your bones more brittle over the long term. So for you milk eaters out there or drinkers.
Okay, there we go. That makes me feel better. For Lillian Big D says, BG, do you put mustard on a hot dog? I don't eat hot dogs, as a matter of fact. So that's a no-go.
On that point, I don't know how anybody's walking around just eating. Yeah, it's savages.
Yeah, quite. No thanks. Burger, sure. Hot dog, no thank you. It's sort of that simple. Gator McCluskey said, Chef Kevin, who is, was scheduled to do our tailgate, just threw up in his mouth and canceled the tailgate based on my food take. So, hey, that's why he's the professional cook, not me. I'm not going to be the one dishing dogs and burgers and things of that nature. I'll leave that up to the professional. So hopefully he's still in, but I'll have to check with him in due time. So we'll see what happens there. But the other thing I wanted to throw up is this. So, okay, Terry McLaurin, you're not interested. You said it's just a name. And I'm just chasing tail over here. Okay. All right. If that's what you want to say, DKP, okay, it's your world. We're just living in it. What about this one? Let me throw this one up in your universe. I don't know if you saw this. Doing some Twitter searching. Wait a second. Micah Parsons back in 2020 said, I think Justin Fields is the best quarterback in America. Oh, did he? Does he still feel that way? Micah Parsons, New York Jets. You say no to Terry McLaurin. Sorry, I'm not paying another wide receiver. What about another pass rusher? Because he just demanded a trade. He just said, my time with the Dallas Cowboys, how about them Cowboys, is over. But he says Justin Fields is the best quarterback in America. We said that a couple years ago. So why would he feel the same way? Justin Fields, Micah Parsons, Jets. Bing, boom, bam. DKP.
I don't know if I agree with a lot of the takes I've seen from Parsons. Okay. From afar, right? I've only seen it come up during like draft, prep season and stuff. So clearly, I don't think I trust his evaluation talents. Not saying I'm against Fields, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like we're pricing ourselves out of a lot of these situations.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Well, what's the price? What's the price for Micah?
You don't think he's in discussion for highest paid non-quarterback?
Oh, he absolutely is. Yes. Yeah. Pay the man. Yeah.
So I think objectively, Jermaine Johnson, Micah Parsons, you're taking Parsons, right? But
of course.
I think, not to say that Parsons wouldn't, but I think JJ has already demonstrated, even within the AG regime, that he houses that classic Jets DNA. When we've seen our success and all that kind of stuff, he's a guy that I would prefer to build around. And you can find you like a supplemental, you can find you a supplemental veteran DE through like cuts or something like that to kind of help supplement the roster, as opposed to going out there and trying to find you a Parsons. And then you have kind of more of an issue long-term with guys like JJ or Brees, and some guys where maybe the collective totality of whoever you re-sign from, the last couple drafts ends up being better than just the one addition of Micah Parsons.
People are expendable. You want to know how quickly you find out people are expendable? Micah Parsons becomes available. Someone just asked, did he demand a trade? Or did someone asked, did he request a trade? Oh, I don't think request is the way I would use to describe it. He demanded a trade. He exploded on social media with this take. Micah Parsons is a game wrecker, and people were asking in the chat, "Oh, Paul, would you give up this Jets player? This Jets player?" I would tell you this: the list of Jets players I wouldn't give up is very short for Micah Parsons. The conversation probably starts with 2 number ones. Done. You can have both of those, no problem. All right, now. Micah freaking Parsons, dude.
And you still have no
100%.
quarterback that you feel good about?
Justin Fields. I have a quarterback I feel good about. Justin
Okay,
Fields.
if you're brought in
JF7.
Justin Fields, that's a different discussion. Okay, but
So we got our quarterback, Justin Fields. Bing, boom, bam. That's taken care of. Okay, 2 number ones. Boom, boom. Now what? Okay, that part's agreed to. Now what else do you want? Now let's talk about it.
what are you
You want
paying
Brees Hall
after
Okay.
next year?
How much? Say that one more time.
What are you paying Fields after next year, though? I'm trying to make sure the money makes sense in my head, like high level wise.
Yeah. Well, next year we got to pay him whatever it is, like a $10 million guaranteed, and we'll work it out. We'll figure it out. So Parsons, he's going to get like $45 million per year, no problem. Highest paid non-quarterback ever. Fine with me. Hired, done. You get that, and the Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner extensions, big money doesn't kick in for another 2 years, so we've got a window here to get aggressive. Let's get aggressive, DKB.
I'm good. If I'm going to pay a guy top non-quarterback money, I want it to be one of my own.
Oh, you elitist pig! Come on, man.
This is from the standpoint of we've been burned by too many other.
DKB, how many children do you have?
3.
Okay. Are they all yours?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're against adopting. Okay, you don't want to adopt any children. You want them all to be your own. Come on, man. Oh, Micah Parsons, sorry, I don't adopt children. I'm against that.
You adopt when you're able to put them in an environment where they can hit the ground running.
It's a great environment. He's a great guy. He's a great father. He's a great dad. Wow. Okay. Well, this is a lot to unpack. It's a lot to unpack. So
clearly, I'll never end up achieving my goal of being a just head coach or anything. I'm just not aggressive enough. But
apparently not. Right? You gotta get it while the getting's good. This is, to me, in all seriousness, this is a unique opportunity. Micah Parsons, and who even knows if the Dallas Cowboys wants to trade him, but like maybe he will force their hand, and then he obviously has gone to a nuclear step here. This is what is required if something crazy is going to happen. I hear other people saying, "Oh, it's just positioning," and that could be true, right? Myles Garrett said, "I'm done with Cleveland. It's not about money." Wait, $40 million? Okay, I love Cleveland. I've always loved Cleveland. Never questioned it. Okay, maybe it's just a play. But this one just feels different with the power of the statement, the specific examples he cited of getting shots from Jerry Jones and others. So, like, maybe this is real. And if this is real and a 26-year-old Micah Parsons is available and he has another decade in front of him of dominating quarterbacks, that just changes the game when you have a game wrecker on your side. And I would love to, if I could, trade off first-round picks and expendable players that are not like I'd love to keep in a perfect world. Maybe this is just too crazy. Will McDonald, Jermaine Johnson, and Micah Parsons. And let AG go to town, finding creative ways to get all 3 of them on the field. And let's go after teams and let's figure it out. And let's do it. I don't know. Micah just feels like such a unique situation that, like, you know what, DKB, you seem like a very calculated, measured guy. People give you an offer. You're like, I'm going to marinate on this. I'm going to think about this. But sometimes when someone comes up that is so unique, and this doesn't come up all the time, you're like, whoa. Normally I'm zigging. This time I got to give a zag here on Micah Parsons.
Nah. Does it not feel like so? The rarity of finding like a difference-making edge rusher, and obviously he does a lot more than that, right? They move him around. He plays.
Oh yeah, he plays all over the place. Yep.
But, like, finding that rare-ish player doesn't seem all that rare anymore. Like, why not keep your picks and you find that guy?
He doesn't seem all that rare. What do you mean? Like,
Myles Garrett was supposed to be the last guy, generational player of his time and all that kind of stuff. A couple years later, Micah Parsons, like it's coming up sooner and sooner. You just need to be able to identify that guy and then go out and make good on it. So I think, I'm not saying we can find our Micah Parsons, but you can go and find you that elite tier person. And for all we know, it might be Will McDonald, right? It might be a Jermaine Johnson for us, and then you have your other pieces. But I'm good. You can go find you another freak in the draft somewhere and then try to build him up.
And I just want to make sure we clarify this because you bring up Myles Garrett, right? He was the talk of the town, and look at him. Micah Parsons has had 12 sacks every year of his career, at least, if not more. Myles Garrett didn't have at least 12 sacks in his first 4 years. He went 7, 13.5, 10, 12. Micah 13, 13 and a half, 14, 12. He is, and they don't only rush him. So that's just his rushing stuff. There's other statistics and ways that they utilize him in coverage that is beyond the pass rushing stuff. Although based on those numbers, I'd see mother just pin your ears back and every single day you're running after the quarterback. I'd make it very simple. I'd make it very black and white, but okay, interesting. All right. Well, DKB, we have gone all over the place here. I cannot believe it's been 90 minutes already, and we didn't even open any phone calls. So, DKB, you tell me on the time. We didn't even get to talk about this before the show. What is your availability here?
Yeah, we're good. Kids are still asleep, and I got time.
All right. DKB said it. He's a man of the people. So we'll open up the phone lines now. Sorry, folks, for the delay. There's just too much to get into. And DKB's, cereal takes. Oh, boy. All right. So let's get to the phone lines. We will play a quick timeout. Your phone calls next. Again, we have 400 people in the room. Make sure you guys like the video. Hit subscribe here on the channel as we make a chase to 8,000 subscribers. Your phone calls next here on BGD.
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Talking Jets football, man. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. New York Jets Football Club. Offense, defense, special teams. Watch Jets football with Boy Green. J-E-T-S. Jets. Let's go.
Look at this. Look at these comments coming in. You people, come on now. Come on. What is this? Let me pull this up. Dade County McFly says, BG thinks he's playing Madden over there. Okay. I am trying to help us win. Win. W-I-N. Do people even remember what that is? Probably not, because we've only seen one of those winning seasons of the last 14 years. So I'm just trying to remind you what it looks like. And it's being aggressive. It's going for the jugular. Okay. You move in silence for a while. Now it's time to move it. What'd you say?
I was trying to think about it in my head while the little break was playing.
Yeah.
Have we seen like a super like a LeBron version of the D line before?
What do you mean?
Like people just bringing in like household names left and right, or they already have a couple established guys, and they're. I'm trying to think. I don't think the Ravens have done it. Maybe the Eagles.
Well, the Jets tried to do it with Hassan Reddick last year. That didn't work out. That was less than ideal.
Yeah, not quite that though. Like something where we've at least seen the on-field product the way it was intended to be. I can't think of another one.
So now it's time to make history, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you want to be different and shoot for the stars, risk it all.
There you go. So do you play poker, DKB?
On a rare occasions, like it, friends are over or something like that, but generally, nah.
But a little Texas Hold'em action, is that your vice?
I don't have a preference. I'll kind of play whatever
okay,
the night calls for.
Yeah. I am a Texas Hold'em guy. I've not played it in a long time, for whatever reason. But aggressive bets, bluffs, all ins. You gotta live the life. If you're not feeling it, are you even alive? You got to coast on the line of like, oh my God, am I gonna die or am I gonna live? And that's a key.
You gotta set people up. It's like watching trench play or watching a wide receiver that isn't making noise in the first half, right? He's been slowly setting the guy up and finally takes the top off of the defense because a guy got too comfortable, too consistent, thought he knew what was going on. You rocked him to sleep. Night time.
Okay, there you go. I'm not gonna lie, you had me in the first half though, and then you hit me in that second half. Okay, I see how you operate, DKB. Let's go to the phone lines. That guy was just singing that guitar, and we'll be doing it at our Jets Cowboys tailgate. It's the Hepster here on the show. What's up, Hep?
Let's go. Oh,
there we go. Nice.
And,
okay.
So DK, I have a suggestion. Do you have a regular time slot? You go hitting around like shotgunning it.
Like normally if I drop videos, it's around 4 a.m. Monday to Friday, but Pacific Standard Time, so 7 East Coast.
Right. So you're like when you're doing it really early in the morning. You said 4 a.m.
Yeah, normally like I try to catch the East Coast people too, so I'm assuming they're like heading off to work or something. They can listen to it in the background. And then
where are you out of? Where are you from?
I'm from Jersey, but I'm in Vegas now.
Oh yeah, I lived in Vegas. I lived on top of Mount Charleston.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's nice up there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, get back to the Jet news. I was talking to BJG about this. We were talking about how excited AG looks at the press conference. He
Yes.
looks like the I don't know, the cat that stole the milk or something. He's just like, I can't wait for this. I can't wait to unleash this on you guys because he has so much more talent than he had when he first got in, with the other team. So here he's kind of like he was dealt a nice little hand. So he's like, oh boy, I got some stuff to do.
And
And
he's
what?
like bottling it up, Hep. Like he's not screaming
No,
Super
no.
Bowl, but like in his head, you could see like the lights going on with his eyes and stuff is flickering back there. People are running around in the Aaron Glenn brain going through filing cabinets. I think to your point, Hep, he's just waiting for the season, and when like these moments hit, he's just gonna like, I knew this was gonna happen. I knew this stuff. That's kind of energy he's giving off, Hep.
Yeah, me too. The other thing is, what do you think about this Michael Clemens rise of the Phoenix? Coming back. What do you think's
Yeah.
going on there with that?
Yeah, DKB, that was the quote. Steve Wilkes, and listen to all the press conferences, he said Michael Clemens is having a, quote, outstanding training camp. And that led to a lot of social media Jet fans going, no, god-awful, terrible. And I'm like, what are we doing, people? So, DKB, what are your thoughts? Michael Clemens' outstanding camp, according to the defensive coordinator, Steve Wilkes.
Yeah, it's only a plus for us, right? Like, as Jets fans, I think we get it committed to memory. Like, if a guy is good, he's good. If a guy ends up being bad, then like he's trash, right? There's no hope for redemption, really. We need to see it. So obviously, games need to happen. But it's interesting because we know Will McDonald has been mostly battling Mimbu, and that's been awesome. Clemens has actually been drawing Olu, and so I know the last practice or two. Olu specifically was called out, and I heard he's been just stonewalling whoever he's been lined up against left and right, rushing guys off the line, placing them in the dirt. But if Michael Clemens is doing enough to where he can be called out for his work against Olu, I think it's ultimately a double positive for us. Olu is obviously killing it, and it's not like Michael Clemens is a Will McDonald or a JJ. But he was able to get, 4.5 sacks his rookie year. So like there was something there. And he's also a grown man of grown man. Like, we can't forget the way he's built, right? Dude looks like a Geodude or something. He's going to go out there and give Olu work when it comes to stopping the run and stuff like that. So I'm excited for him. He's also been picking up all of JJ's reps. So he's kind of getting a bit of a jump in terms of development under AG. But he's going to be our third guy, right? Like our third, maybe fourth if somebody else steps up. So him being able to at least make a name for himself against our starting line, which everybody is saying is a top 10 one, only bodes well for him. And I think he might be working his way into contract extension talks.
That would be not so bad to have him be a solid third defensive end. I mean, that would be great. And we have these other guys that are in the background too. What do you think, LT3?
Yeah, Leonard Taylor III. Yep.
Yeah. What is his sport? Where's he gonna? He's gonna play inside.
Yeah, he should be inside, right? I don't think he's really built to move outside because the knock on him is he can't really hold up against the run all that well, right? So I think he's solely a DT. Probably plays 1-3 tech, something like that. And it's been really quiet for him, right? Like last practice was his best one, where apparently he was like flatlining Josh Myers. Consistently beating up on like Xavier Newman, Cole Lavao, Leander Wigan, some of those guys. But you also expect him to, right? Like LT3 was the guy that, for supposed first round pick falls out of the draft. We scoop him up. Like, so we know what the pedigree is versus where he ended up being drafted and stuff. The fact he's still kind of as low as he is, and he's not like stealing snaps from Derek Nottie or something like that concerns me. But it's also a new staff that he's trying to get a feel for and all that kind of stuff. So with him being more of kind of a finesse player rather than kind of like the aggressive, I'm just going to, snatch your soul from you on the defensive line. Maybe he doesn't mesh as well with what they want to do, but I'm still holding out hope.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Hep, appreciate it. Thank you so much. And people are asking for live updates from the green and white scrimmage. Well, we have those for you, and it's awful news. All right, let's do this. Let's throw this up on the big screen. This is from ESPN's Rich Cimini. Jet scrimmage, live tackling, first drive. Justin Fields ends with a 43-yard field goal missed by Nick Folk. Is Caden Davis still available? What the hell? Come on, Nick. You can't be missing kicks. And delay penalty by a field goal team, move them back 5 yards. I hate that. It's very clear when the field goal is coming. Like, there's no excuse. Sloppy. Fields was 2 of 5 on the drive. Okay, season's over, right, DKB?
Nah. But Justin Fields does need to pick it up. Like, it's been pretty consistent that, like, you hear some of his first drives. Like, so a lot of the stuff we've heard from the last couple regimes, right? Slow starts, inaccuracy, like lack of comfortability, all that kind of stuff. And we've heard him chat about it too. We do need him to come out the gate firing a little better.
Yeah, I'm seeing some action here. People are doing the play-by-play on the drives. Apparently, Isaiah Davis, according to Nick Ferrier, Jets beat reporter, he's probably just had his best start to a practice. He's running hard and taking defenders with him on the ride. What do you make of Isaiah Davis? He's been sort of the forgotten man in the backfield, it seems like.
Never. Not for me. Isaiah Davis has been my guy from day one, right? When I did my breakdown for him, I actually liked him better than Braylon Allen in terms of just a pure running back prospect. I thought he was going to win the RB2 job early, and then as Braylon Allen kind of got the talent to match the physical build, maybe he gets overtaken. But I'm very high. Like, Isaiah Davis kind of reminds me a lot of Bilal Powell in the way that he, at worst, is probably always a very effective running back, and at best, he's probably like a maybe slightly above average running back, right? And so obviously you want the elite guys, but I think he has RB1 potential. Will he lead the league in rushing or something like that? Maybe not. But I'm very high on Isaiah Davis. If someone ends up being injured, knock on wood, I think he's going to come in and you won't really see, a misstep at all in terms of the product out there.
All right, here's again. I'll just continue to give as we're on here for a little bit longer. We have 400 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe. We're giving you live green and white scrimmage updates and live reactions as they're coming in here. Brandon Smith apparently with another great catch, and people keep talking about this is the summer of Brandon Smith, the wide receiver. If you don't know who that is, number 87, Lavernius Cole's love back into the universe. What do you make of the Brandon Smith action? Is there a path for him to make the 53-man roster?
If he can find a way to do something on special teams, I think he's a lock. If not, and they just look at him as a pure receiver prospect, it's a little bit harder. But I won't say impossible, right? If I was to lock it in right now, I'd say G5 at 1, Josh Reynolds at 2, Tyler Johnson at 3, Arian Smith is at 4. And then it would probably be Brandon Smith at 5 with like Irv Charles or someone like that at 6.
Okay. Interesting. All right. By the way, 4 penalties for the Jets offense so far. A direct quote from Nick Ferry is no bueno, which if I go back to my Spanish in high school, not good. Not good is, I believe, the English translation. DKP, can you confirm that?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that sounds about on par. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. All right, and here it is. I'll throw you guys a practice play from the Jets training camp. This is Tyrod Taylor to Zach Kuntz guy. Are you a Zach Kuntz guy? We're just going to keep replaying this while you're talking about it. DKB, are you a Zach Kuntz guy?
I wish I could be like the RAS score, the athleticism,
sure,
and all that. Like, I wish we had Zach Kuntz under this regime. Like Steve Hayden, Jeff Blasco, tight end O-line guys. I think they would have been able to work some magic with him. And I was pretty high on like Ron Middleton too. I think he has some tight ends overachieve based on how our quarterbacks are playing in the past. But yeah, if he was on this regime and he was, had another 2-3 years ahead of him, I'd be all in. But I think it's a little too late. He just doesn't really do anything overly well, right? Can't run block, can't hold up a guy, can't just stay in someone's way long enough, isn't a consistent threat. So you basically just have him going out there and exerting, energy and just being a camp body at this point.
Oh, so you basically hate his guts. By the way, here's no good news, and I'm curious. When we mentioned the injury report earlier, one name we did not mention is Braylon Allen, who missed a couple of days earlier this week with knee soreness, and then he returned. This late in the week, and you're like, oh, okay, nothing to worry about. He's once again out, so maybe it's just precautionary here. But any concern about the generic knee soreness we keep getting here with Braylon Allen?
A little bit, but we haven't heard anything like, there's also swelling going on or anything crazy like that. So I would imagine there's probably like a combination of him probably, clacking knees with somebody or something like that. In addition to him probably still going crazy in the weight room.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think there's as much, what do you call it, rehab going on for the knee as necessarily you'd expect, because I don't think he takes any days off, but we'll see. I think at the very least, this is why you set the running back room up the way it did. You can allow him to kind of be a background thought until that knee gets together.
Tyrod Taylor found a stone smart deep, but Quantez Stiggers had other plans, giving it the old karate chop. Where are you on Quantez Stiggers? That cornerback room is deep. And I want my boy Stiggers to make the roster. He's made a couple of plays recently.
Yeah. Stiggs is another one of my favorites for sure. I playing DB before, like I always have an affinity for them. Stiggers, I'm still super high on him, right? Even when the draft was coming around, like I was bought in. I think he fits everything that Aaron Glenn has mentioned as like an archetype for his player, with the STAR acronym and his resilience and attributes he brings and all that kind of stuff. I think he's that perfect Brandon Echols type replacement. If he can just get those couple opportunities per game or fill in when the occasional injury creeps up, I think he's an underrated, solid depth player for us.
Okay, and we'll give one more nugget here, and then we'll sort of wrap up here, because then we're going to be doing this play-by-play for the entire green and white scrimmage here. But Austin McNamara apparently got a punt inside the 10-yard line, so you were stock up on Austin McNamara. Come on, how can we not end with a punter update? Austin McNamara, baby.
Yeah, let's go. Flipping a field position was like as atrocious as things were for Robert Saleh. Like flipping the field position at least was a positive for us, and obviously that was with Morstead. So sorry to see your boy leave, but if that can become a staple with Aaron Glenn too, like it's a hidden advantage, right? The hidden yards factor that we hear them talk about all the time. So I love it. Plus, he's a youth guy, right? We could maybe he has a Morstead career, and we see him hanging around for 15 years.
That would be amazing if we could get that to happen. Again, guys, this is our giveaway for the month of August as we're wrapping up here. Every $3, $3 you spend here on the channel, you have a raffle ticket for this prize pack, which we'll give away on September 1st. So it's a Super Bowl III coin that is dusted with 24 karat gold, I'm told. I don't know. I'm not a big jewelry guy, so I have no idea what that means, but it's here and it's spectacular. There's a New York Jets logo Athletic Prime hoodie t-shirt, and I'll throw in a random vintage Jets player t-shirt in this package as well. All you have to do is spend $3 on the channel on any of these days, on any of my shows, to be eligible for these giveaways. So keep that in mind. Also, again, we have 5 ticket packages left for the Jets Cowboys. So if you'd like to attend with 50 plus screaming Jets Boy Green Coffee Club members, it's $300 a person. You can reach out to me on all social media at BoyGreen25 for more details. Once we sell out, they are gone. We have one more caller to get to here on my show, and it is Pop on Pop, my father, joining us here on the program. Pop?
Hey now, what's going on?
What is the founder of the Esden Zone? Okay, it's good to see you. It's me and DKB here. What's going on, Pop?
Yeah, I just want to get on real quick. I made it to South Carolina. I haven't got a lot of time. I hear banjos behind me. I'm
oh boy,
I'm concerned.
Swim faster. Swim faster.
Yes, so I'm paddling this boat as fast as it can go. But I wanted to give a brief dig or place put out there for tomorrow's show. Going to really talk about NFL contracts, where the owners need to pony up and the players need to show up. Nobody's going to like it, but it's how to fix the whole problem. And I will also talk about Micah Parsons.
Ooh,
And,
hey, just real quick, are me and you going to do a jersey swap on the show? Are you going to hand over the torch, the Parsons jersey? We'll do a quick photo as you get straight to the Jets.
Yeah, it's more likely I'm going to give you a Big Show slap on the show live than it would be for me doing that. But I'm going to give you my take, and it'll probably surprise everybody. So I figured want everybody to make sure you take the like button to Pound Town.
There you go. Pop, appreciate the call, and good luck on your travels. And again, swim faster when you hear the banjos.
Thank you.
Will do. There you go. My Pop. Traveling through South Carolina, guys, make sure you say a prayer for him. It gets a little crazy down there. I used to live down there. It could be some wild times happening here on the program. Yes, Pop will be on tomorrow. We have NFL insider Matt Lombardo at 7:30. He gets off at 8. Pop will take the baton from him and keep running that race. Looking forward to that. DKB, before we get you out of here, I always appreciate the time you give to the show. Again, you've got people. You're very humble. You're very modest. You're very, hey, I'm just DKB. I'm just here doing my part in the universe. But you've got a lot of super fans that ask for you to be on the show when you're not on the show. When you're on the show, they're like, hey, DKB. Like, good Lord. I don't know have you have any time to even do these shows because you're too busy, kissing babies and signing autographs, for God's sakes. But I appreciate the time where you could get away from some of that. So, DKB, give us a plug. What do you got cooking on the channel? And please, to the 400 plus people watching live on the show right now and the people that enjoy watching the show when they wake up later, give us a plug for all your channels, man. We appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate the time as always. Grateful for the opportunity. DKBX Jets on YouTube. Again, not a big social media sphere. Couple people have found my Instagram, but I never post anything on there. So I wouldn't waste the time. But you can find me on YouTube. Content I'm pushing out now mostly has been training camp stuff, right? I find some nooks and crannies in there. So I just talked about Steve Wilkes and some critiques that Nick Bosa had from his defensive coordinator days there, how that may translate. And overall, just thoughts and feelings. There will probably be a couple more lives I do in the next week or two here. Just in terms of stock up, stock down candidates, and then probably roster projection soon, like early roster projection per position. So we'll see how that works out. But otherwise, I'm just enjoying the training camp, to be honest. I probably wouldn't be dropping any content, and I'd just be fully bought in on trying to consume all the Aaron Glenn news I possibly can.
Which makes a lot of sense. One more coming out of here. T-Town Jet gifting a Boy Green Coffee Club membership on the way out. Appreciate you. Membership went to Junio Rudy. So T-Town Jet, you officially have a raffle ticket, for this month's contest that is on the scrolling ticker down below. Thank you guys so much for the support. Financially, the more you guys invest in the show, the more I can invest into it. So yes, let's continue. And all these thanks, DKB. And I if you cup your ear, it's sort of like if you go on the beach, DKB, and you pick up a seashell, you're like, what the? And you put it up to your ear close enough, you can hear DKB. It's pretty cool, and that's currently happening in the comment section right now. So salute everybody, and continue to overreact to all those tweets from your favorite Mama's Beat reporter on all things Jets. We certainly will, and we'll be back on tomorrow morning. DKB, thanks, brother.
Appreciate it. Have a good one, everyone.
Peace out. See you.